Would you let your kids play in a park or walk home alone from school?
Lawn darts stabbed through the skull of his 7-year-old daughter.
Possibility of eliminating smoking on commercial flights, that's another story.
Do you remember the 1980s? A time of iconic music, vibrant fashion, and groundbreaking technology. Who could forget when cassette tapes ruled the music scene and rotary phones were our lifeline? It was an era unlike any other, blending nostalgia with innovation. Join us as we reminisce about 20 things in the 1980s we can no longer do. In the 1980s, riding in the back of pickup trucks was a quintessential American experience.
What age can a child ride in the open bed of a pickup truck?
However, times have changed significantly since back then. Pickup trucks were essential vehicles in rural America, often used by families for outings to the beach, picnics, or leisurely drives. But as our understanding of vehicle safety advanced, so did our awareness of the dangers involved. In 2021, more than 26,000 people lost their lives in car accidents nationwide, with some of these tragedies involving passengers riding in pickup beds, which could have been prevented. Legal regulations vary across states. In Minnesota, for example, strict guidelines exist, but no specific law prohibits riding in the back of a pickup truck. Children under 18 are prohibited from riding in the truck bed or on interstate highways due to their increased vulnerability in accidents. Additionally, trucks must have a secured tailgate, and drivers must exercise caution. Similar safety-focused rules exist in other states, prioritizing safety over nostalgic practices from decades past. In the 80s, riding in pickup truck beds was a typical American pastime, but safety standards have since evolved. Considering this, let's explore the risk of another popular but hazardous activity, playing with jarts. What dangers lurk behind the innocent fun of launching oversized lawn darts? In the 80s, jarts, also known as lawn darts, were a popular outdoor game that blended fun with serious risks.
A 4-year-old North Dakota child was killed while playing in a sandbox next to the lawn dart game.
These oversized darts featured metal tips, colorful fins, and a substantial weight. The objective was simple. Players aimed to toss them into a large plastic ring placed 35 feet apart on the grass, competing for points with friends and family. Setting up jarts was straightforward. Just place the rings and take turns launching the darts underhand, hoping for a graceful arc that would embed them upright in the ground within the ring. Scoring was based on where the darts landed, with more points for closer shots and various scoring rules to add complexity. The goal was to reach exactly 21 points to win. However, jarts came with significant safety concerns. The metal tips posed a severe hazard, leading to numerous accidents, injuries, and tragically even deaths, particularly among children who played without proper supervision. In response, the Consumer Product Safety Commission banned jarts in 1970, though manufacturers initially circumvented the ban by selling them as non-toys. Eventually, stricter regulations in 1988 led to jarts being wholly removed from store shelves. In the past, American gas stations commonly sold leaded gasoline, which powered cars but left behind a dangerous legacy.
The car accelerates more rapidly, climbs hills faster, travels more miles per gallon.
Leaded fuel contained tetrathiol lead, added to boost octane levels and prevent engine problems like knocking. However, this convenience masked a severe problem: lead contamination. As cars burned leaded gas, tiny particles of lead escaped into the air, soil, and waterways. This posed a significant risk, especially to children who often played near roads and unknowingly ingested lead. Recognizing the risks, efforts to phase out lead gasoline began in the early 70s. The U.S. EPA spearheaded this initiative, culminating in the official ban of leaded gasoline for on-road vehicles by 1996. Despite these actions, the damage was already extensive. Before the ban, an estimated 4 to 5 million tons of lead had already spread across the country, leaving a lasting and harmful environmental legacy that affects communities today. In the 80s, boarding a plane often meant enduring a smoky journey as passengers freely smoked on board.
I really think it's an inconvenience for the other people, so I think it would be neat.
The air inside the cabin was heavy with tobacco fumes, a norm that persisted until significant changes took flight. On February the 25th of 1990, a landmark federal law banned smoking on U.S. domestic flights under 6 hours. This crucial legislation, designed to protect public health, transformed all flights into smoke-free environments, eliminating smoking sections and enhancing the passenger travel experience. The shift wasn't without resistance. The tobacco industry and some passengers opposed the change, fearing its impact on air travel. Yet the majority welcomed the newfound clarity in the skies. Health concerns over secondhand smoke affecting travelers and crew underscored the ban's necessity. As a result, air quality drastically improved, offering relief to non-smokers and ensuring a healthier environment on board. The influence of this U.S. initiative extended globally, prompting widespread adoption of smoke-free policies in air travel worldwide. As the skies cleared of tobacco haze, a new era of cleaner air began. But what about the era of video rental stores? Let's explore. Remember the days of video rental stores? They were more than just places to pick up a movie. They were portals to cinematic adventures.
I've never seen 10,000 tapes in one store.
There's so much kid stuff.
In the 80s, these stores like Blockbuster Video and local mom and pop shops buzzed with excitement. Rows of VHS tapes lined the shelves, each promising a different story. Choosing a film involved browsing covers, reading summaries, and ensuring tapes were rewound before returning. But change was inevitable. In the 2000s, DVDs took over with their sharper quality and convenience. Streaming services soon followed, offering movies instantly from home. This digital shift marked the beginning of the end for physical rentals. Neon signs faded, shelves emptied, and Blockbuster closed its doors. The thrill of searching for a movie was replaced by algorithms suggesting what to watch next. In the 1980s, inspired by military uniforms, these distinctive trousers were made from lightweight, durable nylon, similar to the material used in actual parachutes.
The all-new City TV Toronto T sweats and parachute pants. Get yours at Stitches.
Their standout feature was a baggy, billowy shape tapered at the ankles, designed for maximum movement. They were trendy for dancing to the music of the 80s, and gained widespread popularity for several reasons. Icons like MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice famously wore them in their music videos, propelling parachute pants into the mainstream. They also became synonymous with breakdancing culture, offering flexibility and flashy style. Embraced by both men and women, parachute pants were often paired with oversized t-shirts or baby doll tops, showcasing their unisex appeal. However, by the 90s, fashion preferences evolved towards more fitted styles, marking a decline in parachute pants popularity. Technological advancements in fabrics like denim offered comfort without the exaggerated bagginess of nylon. Rotary phones were essential tools in American households in the 1980s. Found on kitchen counters or mounted on walls, these robust devices featured a circular dial used to input phone numbers manually. Their widespread use stemmed from their reliability and simple functionality. Dialing a number was a deliberate ritual, requiring users to insert their fingers into numbered holes and spin the dial clockwise. Each digit dialed produced a satisfying click against a metal stop, creating a tactile experience. Unlike modern touch-tone keypads, rotary phones lacked autocorrect, demanding patience and accuracy from users. Despite their nostalgic appeal today, rotary phones eventually faded from popularity. The advent of touch-tone telephones in the 70s offered faster dialing with push-button keypads, which quickly became favored for their efficiency. Additionally, the rise of mobile phones in the 80s provided unparalleled freedom, enabling calls from anywhere without cords or spinning dials. Moreover, digital technology surpassed analog systems, offering more precise sound quality and advanced features, ultimately leading to the decline of the once ubiquitous rotary phone. As the rotary phone's satisfying clicks faded with technological advances, did the era's other iconic gadget, the Walkman, face a similar fate? Let's find out. The Walkman, an iconic gadget from the 80s, revolutionized how people enjoyed music. Picture yourself walking down the street, lost in your favorite tunes with headphones on, a scene that defined an era. The Walkman allowed everyone to carry their music wherever they went, breaking free from the reliance on radio DJs. It was sleek, lightweight, and quickly slipped into a pocket, allowing users to be their own musical DJs on the move. One of its charms was its role in the mixtape culture. People curated personal playlists for road trips, romantic gestures, or straightforward enjoyment. The Walkman empowered users to become master mixtape creators, blending songs onto compact cassettes synonymous with personal expression. However, as technology advanced, the Walkman's dominance waned. CDs, MP3 players, and eventually smartphones offered digital convenience with skip buttons and a vast library of songs. Arcades were vibrant entertainment centers during the 1980s, where people of all ages gathered to play video games.
Millions of people are addicted to hours of gazing at electronic images on game screens and arcades.
These neon-lit havens were exciting and were more than just places to play. They were social hubs. Friends would meet up with pockets full of quarters to challenge each other in classics like Street Fighter, Pac-Man, or Galaga, creating an electric atmosphere of camaraderie. Arcades were also showcases for cutting-edge technology at the time. Games featured stunning graphics from vector displays to colorful sprites, continually pushing the boundaries of what was possible with pixels. However, arcade popularity eventually waned for several reasons. The rise of home gaming consoles like Nintendo and Sega brought the arcade experience into people's living rooms, offering convenience and accessibility. Additionally, the advent of online gaming allowed players to compete with others globally without leaving home, shifting the dynamic of gaming communities. In the 1980s, Saturday morning cartoons were a beloved part of many kids' weekly routines across the USA.
We have some. Send us a postcard, dudes!
Kids eagerly jumped out of bed in their pajamas, rushing to the living room where the TV flickered to life with colorful animated worlds. It was a time marked by sugary cereals and the adventures of iconic characters like He-Man, She-Ra, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Unlike today's constant streaming options, these shows aired exclusively on Saturday mornings from 8 until noon, making them a weekly treat. If you missed an episode, you had to wait for reruns or rely on friends for updates during Monday's lunch break, fostering a collective experience among peers. As cable TV expanded and on-demand viewing became the norm, the charm of Saturday morning cartoons faded. Channels like Nickelodeon provided cartoons around the clock, ending the weekly anticipation. Today, kids prefer binge-watching entire seasons, a stark contrast to the bygone era of eagerly awaiting each new episode. Moreover, networks shifted their focus, moving away from cartoons to cater to different age groups with educational programming or infomercials, marking the end of an era for Saturday morning cartoons as we once knew them. As Saturday morning cartoons faded with the rise of on-demand TV, another nostalgic tradition faced transformation. Remember the joy of sending letters? In the 80s, sending letters and postcards was a way to connect with loved ones or share exciting news. People would carefully select stationery, pen heartfelt messages, and eagerly await the mail carrier's arrival. However, times have changed significantly since then. Email emerged in the late 20th century, transforming communication globally. It allowed messages to be sent instantly, replacing the days-long wait for traditional letters with mere seconds of transmission. The efficiency of email revolutionized business exchanges as well, enabling swift transactions of contracts and proposals without reliance on slower methods like snail mail or fax. Additionally, environmental awareness grew, highlighting the impact of paper consumption and transportation energy on the planet. This led many to favor email as a greener alternative. Despite its efficiency, email lacks the personal charm of handwritten letters, where each ink stroke carries a unique touch and scent. In the 80s, it was common to see people driving without wearing seatbelts. However, laws have changed significantly since then to prioritize safety.
The use of seatbelts was a controversial topic in this country. It was the last province to enact seatbelt laws.
Today, strict seatbelt laws exist across many states and territories, including Guam, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and the Northern Mariana Islands. These laws allow police to stop drivers solely for not wearing seatbelts, marking a legal shift from earlier decades. Seatbelts are crucial for saving lives in accidents. They prevent occupants from being thrown from vehicles and help reduce injuries like spinal damage. Modern seatbelt designs, spanning across the chest, shoulders, and pelvis, are specifically engineered to restrain passengers effectively during collisions. Despite these safety benefits, some drivers still resist wearing seatbelts, particularly men and those in rural areas. Seatbelt laws are enforced differently, influencing compliance rates regionally. Social attitudes have also changed. Not wearing a seatbelt is now widely seen as risky rather than rebellious, reflecting a broader shift towards prioritizing road safety. Trick-or-treating with homemade costumes used to be a beloved tradition among children. They eagerly created spooky outfits, transforming into witches, superheroes, or ghosts. Parents often stitch these DIY costumes together using old bed sheets, cardboard, and their imagination. But times have changed, and safety concerns are a significant focus during Halloween preparations. Store-bought costumes have become more common for several reasons. Firstly, there are stricter safety standards today. Homemade costumes may not use fire-resistant materials or ensure proper visibility, which can be risky. Parents worry about fabrics that could catch fire or masks that might obstruct their child's vision at night. In contrast, store-bought costumes undergo rigorous testing to meet safety guidelines, ensuring children enjoy Halloween safely. Convenience also plays a significant role in this shift. Modern life is hectic, leaving little time for crafting homemade costumes. Store-bought options provide instant gratification, often featuring popular movie characters or cultural icons that appeal to kids and parents. As homemade Halloween costumes wane, are other traditions evolving due to modern convenience? Let's explore the evolution of prank calling. In the 1980s, prank calling was a popular activity enjoyed by many, made easier by the absence of caller ID. People would randomly dial numbers, change their voices, and play tricks on unsuspecting recipients for entertainment. However, technological advancements and stricter regulations have transformed this landscape today. This innovation stripped pranksters of being anonymous, making hiding behind altered voices or accents impossible. Once the recipient saw the number, the prank was often spoiled. In addition to technological changes, laws against harassment have become more stringent over time. Making repeated prank calls can now result in legal consequences, reflecting a shift from harmless fun to potentially harmful behavior in today's context. Despite these changes, there are still options for those nostalgic for the prank calling days. Services exist that allow callers to spoof their caller ID, displaying any number they choose, and some apps can even modify voices during calls, adding an extra layer of disguise to the prank. Candy cigarettes were a nostalgic treat for children, designed to look like real cigarettes in the 80s. These sugary sticks were sold in boxes that mimicked cigarette packs, complete with fake branding.
Some of them told me they remember seeing boxes like this one sold at stores when they were children. Now they aren't happy to see them sold in stores once again.
Over time, their popularity declined due to several reasons. First, as society became more aware of the risks of smoking, attitude shifted towards healthier choices. Parents and educators grew concerned that candy cigarettes might normalize smoking among kids, once considered harmless fun. Second, governments worldwide responded to the tobacco crisis by implementing stricter laws and regulations. Advertising restrictions and age limits on tobacco sales made it increasingly inappropriate to market candy cigarettes to children. Additionally, there were health worries. Some studies suggested that these sweets could encourage young people to start smoking. With technological advancements, children's interests diversified from traditional candies like candy cigarettes to new attractions such as video games and colorful gummy candies. As a result, candy cigarettes lost their appeal in a changing cultural landscape. In the 1980s, asbestos was widely used in construction due to its ability to resist heat and provide insulation. However, it soon became evident that asbestos exposure posed severe health risks.
I'm a ceiling man. I've been working with ceilings for 15 years. Up until now, we didn't know that asbestos had cancer in it.
Diseases like mesothelioma, lung cancer, and asbestosis were linked to its fibers. Regulations have been implemented over the years to address this growing concern. The Clean Air Act of 1970 marked a pivotal moment. It categorizes asbestos as a hazardous air pollutant and empowers the EPA to regulate its handling and disposal. By 1975, certain asbestos products like pipe insulation were banned in facilities, followed by spray-applied products in 1973. Efforts culminated in 1989 in the asbestos ban and phase-out rule, which aimed to prohibit asbestos-containing products completely. However, legal challenges led to a revised rule in 1991, resulting in only a partial ban. In 2019, after decades of debate and research, the EPA took further action by discontinuing the sale and use of new building materials containing asbestos. In the past, children had a freedom that seemed almost unbelievable today. Back then, free-range parenting was shared, where kids learned essential skills like problem-solving and socializing through play. So, what's different now? Well, one major factor is fear.
If you're thrilled to have kids but love them so much that you're afraid all the time, maybe a little or a lot, they're ready to become free-range kids.
Many parents today worry about crime, even though crime rates have decreased since the 1990s. Despite this drop, concerns about abductions and accidents keep children indoors more often than before. Another change is the rise of smartphones. While these devices can help parents keep track of their kids, they also limit their independence. Instead of playing outside, many children spend more time on screens, constantly checking in with their parents. Additionally, laws have shifted, with some places supporting free-range parenting, while others view unsupervised play as risky. This legal uncertainty can make parents hesitant to give their children the same freedoms they once enjoyed. In the 1980s, Betamax struggled to dominate home video formats.
Data scan lets me go fast forward and reverse, so I can skip the boring stuff like this long rally and stop when I come to the real exciting parts, like Tom Jr. here dashing onto the court to pick up the ball.
Families vividly recall gathering around their bulky Betamax players, the satisfying clunk of tapes being rewound, echoing in their living rooms. Despite its initial popularity, Betamax eventually succumbed to VHS. VHS tapes offered longer recording times, making them more practical for recording TV shows and renting movies. In contrast, Betamax's shorter tapes often require viewers to switch tapes in the middle of a movie. Another factor in Betamax's decline was pricing. Betamax machines were more expensive than VHS players, which became increasingly affordable over time. As VHS flooded video rental stores, Betamax tapes became scarce, leading consumers to favor the more widely available format. The adult film industry also played a significant role, as it embraced VHS for its extended recording capabilities, influencing consumer preferences decisively and sealing Betamax's fate in the market. In the 80s, Betamax battled VHS for dominance in home video. Did you know the adult film industry influenced its fate? Next, explore how Polaroid lost its charm amid the digital photography revolution. The Polaroid instant camera was once a beloved piece of nostalgia, capturing moments instantly in a tangible format.
I bet you want a sun camera for Christmas. Well, ask for it. You won't break anyone. It's only $39.95.
In the 1980s, the sound of its motor and the anticipation of seeing a photo develop were part of its charm. However, Polaroids eventually faded from popularity for several reasons. Firstly, the digital revolution transformed photography with the advent of digital cameras and smartphones. These devices allowed people to take countless pictures without the constraints of film or development cost, something Polaroids couldn't match in terms of convenience. Secondly, while Polaroids had a unique appeal, their image quality often fell short compared to digital cameras, producing grainy and soft-focus shots. Moreover, using Polaroids meant dealing with the cost of costly film packs, making users think twice before snapping a picture. In contrast, digital photography eliminated these financial barriers. In the 1980s, people typically used typewriters to create documents. These machines were bulky and required pressing keys to imprint ink onto paper manually. Despite their clunkiness, typewriters had their quirks. Making a mistake meant starting over, and the loud ding at the end of each line was both satisfying and disruptive. Then came word processors, which completely changed how we write. These digital tools allowed users to edit text without having to retype entire documents. It was a huge relief, eliminating the need for whiteout or crumpled paper. Word processing software also introduced advanced features like formatting options, spell checking, and the ability to save documents on disks. Personal computers quickly replaced typewriters as the primary work tools, marking a rapid transition.